Hello, my Leos. Welcome to your monthly reading for the month of November. So we are going to start right away and jump in. We're going to, first of all, pull a card here from the Chakra reading cards. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to know in general for the entire month of November. It could be the theme or the energies or just what the Creator wants you to give you a heads up about for November. So one more time here. All right. So for our beautiful Leos, Creator, what would you like them to know about the month of November? All right. Like this is going to be the one right here. And you have balance number 6, which beautiful yin and yang card here showing the balance of all things in life. So November is definitely a good month to keep things in balance for you. And we'll also take a look here. That does have to do with your root chakra. So definitely a lot to do with health and just your looking into your fears, looking at things you're anxious about. The root chakra also has a lot to do with how you relate to groups, not like one-on-one with another individual or yourself. It's kind of like with the, two or more people, whatever group it might be, or how you relate to your, the world in your mind as well. But for the book here, it talks about the base chakra, which is the root chakra. And you've called this card into your awareness as an indication that balance is required somewhere in your life. Mastering balance is certainly a work in progress and a powerful master key to more harmonious and enjoyable life. We live in a physical world of polarity with day and night, hot and cold, and the forces of nature are constantly working towards a state of balance in everything. Living a life of balance is the ultimate goal. When you can walk your path with no judgment and realize that everything has an opposite, life becomes less stressful and flows with ease and grace. You may have been feeling out of whack of late. Take a moment to see what is out of balance in your life. What have you been putting too much energy into or focusing on? Or what requires a little more attention? If you've been putting too much energy and effort into something and feeling stuck, then it's time to let go and allow the natural flow of balance to take place. If you've been ignoring something and not giving it the attention it requires, now is the time to give it some love, some care, and some focus. It could be thoughts in your head, relationships, work, family, or a new project you're working on. Once you find where the balance is required, take action and positive steps to allow the natural flow to occur. There's an old saying that too much of a good thing is not always the best medicine, right? Balance is the key. It's time to let go and stop pushing or trying too hard. Surrender and allow balance to bless your life. This card can also indicate that balance may already be present and you've been taking the right steps to allow it to flow into your world. And the affirmation for this card is, I am balanced in all aspects of my life. That is the goal, isn't it? Find that nice balance between so many things. Also a balance, of course, between the human side of our nature and the spiritual side of our nature, because, our higher self, our true self, our big self, that powerful, eternal, supernatural spirit being made of unconditional love is more of who we are. But we pretend and bring a little part of ourselves down here to represent this little human for these human experiences of fear and all the opposites of what we are. But if we're all spiritually minded, we're no earthly good because we're not really down here on earth. We're somewhere else out in the universe. Or if we're so human that we don't have that unconditional love and that awareness of who we are, then the fear ego takes over and there's a lot of fight and flight and illness and disease in our life. And so that's out of balance, right? So it's this wonderful balance between walking hand in hand with our spiritual side as well. Next, we're going to pull a card here from this Major Arcana deck. And what I do for my monthlies, at least up to this point, I've been taking a tarot deck, and I break out the Major Arcana from the 4 suits of the Minor Arcana. And for the Major Arcana, we're going to have it represent like we do for this card, which is what the creator wants you to know, just overall for the month of November. And we'll talk about the Minor Arcana when we get to those in just a moment. All right, creator, so what else do you want our Leos to know about their month, please? Month of November. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so definitely this is the Hanged Man, and this is you hanging upside down from a tree, which can mean pausing, taking time, and I love that this is like this balancing act, right? Because they do show the Hanged Man upright, standing here, which means that you're also seeing things from a higher perspective. You're not touching the ground when you're hanging from the tree. And it is reflective of Odin, it was like, he was the king of gods. So he was like a very important god, if any, according to mythology. And he hung himself by one of his legs from a tree, the tree of knowledge, and he even gave and sacrificed an eye to be able to peer into the knowledge of the universe. And so it is about taking this higher view approach of things to be able to see those truths and see those things. But he also it's also about pausing and taking time, not rushing. So this definitely is a good card to coincide with this balance here. And as you go into November, but I do love the message too about in this balancing, an important piece of it is to see things from a higher perspective. Because as I was talking about, if you're not aware of the higher knowledge, you're not aware of your higher self and aware of seeing things from that higher spiritual point of view, then balance is hard to achieve, because we're so caught up into the supposed tos and the shoulds and the need tos and the have tos of the human side of us. All those expectations we're, taught and told that we have to obtain and keep, and, all that brings so much pressure and distraction and fears that it does, keep us literally out of our minds. Because when you're in fight or flight, like the blood leaves your brain and you're not thinking clearly, you're just reacting for self-preservation. But when you calm yourself and you breathe and you come to this beautiful, calm place, all that blood comes back into the brain. And then when you can attach and, to your higher self and see things from a different perspective, it just allows you to understand what you're fearing, what is truly something that is a physical danger or something that's just an emotional monster, and something that you can look at and heal with this as well. We're going to, of course, dive in more deeply here. The 4 minor arcana suits are going to represent 4 different parts of your life, 4 different parts of like your beingness. And we're going to start off with the wands, which is the fire element. And what that represents for this reading is going to be your spiritual side. So your spiritual adventure. Wands also are like your drive, your ambitions, your aha inspiration, just that spark that is within you and your spirit, like your spiritual energy. So we'll find out here, creator, for our Leos, which your fire energy. So you totally get that you're the fire element, one of the 3 fire elements. So you definitely get it. You're not afraid of this fiery energy, because it's what you've known your entire life. All right, creator. So for our Leos, what do you want them to know about their spiritual adventure in the month of November, please? Okay, there you go. And you got the 4 of Wands. So think of the number 4 as a very strong and stable, type of feeling. 4, strong legs on a table, create a very stable table. And it also is like this beautiful feeling, this beautiful energy of celebration, of excitement. Usually it's like holding up a tent, which can mean like weddings and celebrations and those types of things. But I really feel like this is bringing forth this feeling of joy for your life, and it's the stability, which balance, it's, two equal sides of a table, right? It's balanced because of those two solid legs. If there was two and there was one, it's like, or so it's important to have this stable energy, and this stable energy comes in, of course, with connecting to your higher self, because that is what brings you that peace and that joy. When you connect to the unconditional love that you are, it brings that calmness. It soothes the fiery, fearing lion that is the beast that we are when we're in fight or flight mode. It brings and it calms the savage beast. So it definitely brings in this beautiful, calm, peaceful feeling. We're also going to pull a card here from the Energy Oracle. Just see what else the Creator wants you to know about your spiritual adventure during the month of November. So whatever you do in your life to connect to your higher self, if it's meditation, or if that's painting, or going for a walk, or having a nice hot bath with some candles, where you just calm yourself and surround yourself with that love. Whatever you do that normally brings that stability in, it's a strong encouragement to bring that balance in and have that energy focused on that. When you focus your energy on connecting to that higher love and that higher wisdom and the higher awareness, then that's what grows. If you're focusing on the stuff that's out of balance, or if you focus on lack or whatever's not in your life, that's what grows. And so just know that your power lies in your focus. I was just talking to my roommate this morning, because they're like, it's like wearing a fire hose on top of your head, and you look over here and you're like, why is that growing over there? And it's like, well, that's where you're focusing and looking. When you switch your head here, you're like, oh, why is it going over here? And it's like, yep, that's because you're focused on looking over there. And you realize wherever you are looking, wherever you're focusing, is where this energy is that you're sending, and that's what's growing. So it's a beautiful awareness that you have the power in your life to grow and sway whatever direction your life is going. Is it in the storm and chaos and all those beautiful, tasty emotions of fear, or is it over in this realm of unconditional love and joy and peace and laughter? You get to control that through this beautiful energy. All right. So, Creator, what else do you want our Leos to know about their spiritual adventure? No, not those. Okay. Okay, this is the one right here. And you got the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, card number 41. And the 7th chakra, of course, is the crown chakra, which would be spirit, right? How we communicate and talk with spirit. So let me grab this really quick here. Yep, spirit connections, intuition, and inspiration. So everything I was just talking about. The beautiful angel Uriel, also called the fire of God, fire sign, wears a brilliant crystal crown vibrating with a passionate connection to the divine. She brings great power to your 7th energy center, which is called the crown chakra and is located at the top of your head. This card indicates an open and free-flowing channel of information and inspiration from the wonderful beings in the spirit world. This could also be a time of great intuition for you and guidance from your higher awareness. So allow yourself to quiet your mind and listen. Now is a great time to get connected. The assistance from Spirit is great, and whether it's presence of an ascended master, a powerful angel like Uriel, or just a loving friend or family member in spirit, their love and willingness to assist is always there. They even open you to the Akashic records, or Alaya consciousness, the storehouse of all information. This connection is open now, and you will find that your own spirit and the spirits of those around you will be able to provide the answers you seek and the blessings you desire and deserve. And the affirmation for this card is, my seventh chakra is open to its perfect, healthy state. Love and inspiration from Spirit and my own intuition flow fully to me now. Okay. Can't make that up. So yeah, definitely connecting to your higher self and spirit, just that whole, slew of beings of unconditional love and light on the other side. They definitely are there to support you, and will definitely help you bring in balance into your life, because like it says, they will give you answers, they will give you information, they'll give you signs, and even miracles and wonders, as long as it doesn't interfere with your predestined path that you wanted to experience. There are several things you want to experience in your life that you have on a list for them, saying, don't interfere with this, don't give me any answers on this, it needs to be unknown for me to experience this to its fullest. And so they look at the list and like, nope, can't tell you that, but we can do this, and they will help you where they can, but they won't mess with your free will. So if of your own free will you ask them for assistance, then they will. Otherwise they won't. Like I said, they won't meddle and mess with it. But definitely a message about connecting to your higher self. Very, very clear. Next, we're going to move outside of yourself into the Pentacles, which is the earth energy, earth element, and that's going to represent your physical environment. So the characters that are on stage with you on this play of life, the situations that you're in, like jobs and social status and different circumstances like that. And then, of course, all the physical props, like your possessions, your money, and even your physical body. So this will be what the Creator wants you to know about your physical adventure during the month of November. All right. There we go. All right. For our Leo's, Creator, what do you want them to know about their physical adventure in November? Okay, that is the one right there. And you've got the Eight of Pentacles. And the Eight of Pentacles is about like mastering something, learning more about it. You're working, you're putting the effort in. It is about you're putting out, a beautiful amount of work, success, abundance. So you are getting abundance, and you are getting things coming into your life. And you think of 8 as, like a 4 is a very balanced number. Think of 8 as a very balanced number as well. Think of 4 by 4 on either side. And so it's this, four-legged table that's very solid and long, but it's very smooth. There's nothing obstructing it as well. If you have 4 things with this smooth flow of energy that's happening. So you're having this, nice flow of life that's going on. You're doing your work. You're, focusing in on the job. You're focusing in on getting things done, and you're getting things done. And it's like, I wouldn't say like you have your nose to the grind, but you are very focused in getting things accomplished, and you are accomplishing things. And again, it's kind of like this, like the Three of Pentacles kind of is about apprenticeship and mastery. And this is kind of to the point where you really getting close to mastering something in your life as well. So if you've been studying, it can be that as well, where you're learning something new. You're learning new ways of doing things. And so it's a beautiful growth type of energy in your outside world. So definitely, you're almost to the 10 of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles next is a very beautiful abundant card, and the 10 of Pentacles is like the abundance fills you up and flows out to the world. So you're very close to achieving this beautiful place in your life where you're feeling abundant, where you're feeling whole. That's a good balance. Like we're here, you're not overworked, but you're definitely not underworked as either. You're enjoying it too. It's not like the 7 of Pentacles before this is like impatience. You're not seeing the fruit enough. You're wanting things to go faster. Here, everything is just going along fine. Like the wheels on the bus go round and round. You're like, yep, I'm putting out, like I'm not on so much a conveyor kind of belt thing, but you're putting out steady amounts of creativity and creations into the world. Excuse me. And then we're going to pull a card here also from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. Just see what else the Creator wants you to know about the physical adventure during the month of November. All right, Creator, what else? What else do you want our Leos to know? Okay. Right off the bat. And you got Spirit. Spirit Fox. I love foxes, are so cute. It says, trust your talents in changing times. So definitely right in alignment with this 8 of Pentacles, because that's your talent, that's what you're putting out. And though there might be challenging times, which of course we are going through, financial, not spiritual. I was looking at Spirit Fox. We're going through challenging financial situations in the outside world. Our physical things in the outside world with illness and, clashes between different factions of all different kinds. And so when you have this trust in the outside world, that is where your abundance comes from, it can feel shaky, right? But when you realize that our abundance comes from the Creator, who is a source of endless abundance, they're limitless, and then the third party people, the middlemen, or the shipping company as I call them, they're the ones that the Creator ships and brings us abundance through. So when you trust, and you can trust your talents, and you can trust in the Creator, then during challenging times, then you know that you're always going to have enough, because you have everything you need, first of all, inside you, as you connect to your higher self. But it's okay. You're going to get through it. Your fears, the fears we talked about of, what if I lose this? What if I lose that? What if I lose that? Don't turn your head toward that and have your fire hose filling up that energy. Turn towards trust in the Creator and abundance and doing what you love and doing the work, and you'll be fine, right? So Spirit Fox, it says, stay alert as changes in the air. The Spirit Fox features this author's favorite animal of all time, the red fox, an amazingly resilient creature able to survive in urban environments or the freezing temperatures of the Arctic. Foxes know what it's like to be hunted. For centuries, they've been sought for their precious fur when all they want to do is survive. So the Spirit Fox can help you overcome the energies of adversity and unfair treatment. Also, as urban foxes hide in cities and go about their business in the darker hours, the fox offers the medicine of blending in. The energies around you are changing at this time, and although it may not always be comfortable, you're equipped with all that you need to survive this shift. You're being presented with opportunities to reach spaces you've never encountered before, and this can make you feel on edge, but be open to the shifts occurring because they really are the answers to your prayers. The experience of being hunted or threatened is now behind you, and you're being invited to come out from your den and reveal your glory and talents. Call upon Spirit Fox Medicine to help you be seen for who you are and trust in your talents in order to be the best you can be in these changing times. Yeah. So you definitely, this is who you really are, your higher self, right? Your human side of yourself is how the vehicle through which you share this unconditional love you are with the world. So if you're not sure of how you want to do that, then that's what you can look into as well during this peaceful, quieter time, right? You can see, how do I uniquely want to share my love with the world? I don't want to have to, stay in all these supposed to's and should be's, all that what I'm told are the ways I have to do it or supposed to do it. Instead, connect to your creativity, connect to your higher self, connect to your, posse and support team, and ask them for clarity, ask them for answers, ask them to show you the different possibilities and the doors that will help you, go towards that dream, because they will answer you. But I love this very balanced feeling here, right? And then we're going to move into your mind. I know, this is the swords, this is the air element, and it does represent your mind. So it's your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. So all to do with the mind. So this will be what your mental adventure is, or what the Creator wants you to know about your mental adventure in the month of November. There we go. All right, Creator, for our Leos, what do you want them to know about their mental adventure, please? Okay, this is the one right here. And you've got the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is like the nightmare card, the insomnia card. So this is when you're out of balance. All these swords are all these expectations and these supposed to be's and these shoulds, all that stuff that you're focusing on in your life that's not happening, that's bringing in all this feelings of restriction. And like I said, it's like keeping you up at night that you're worried about it, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, your heart's beating because you're thinking about this thing. And so it's definitely bringing this awareness to you about these fears and these, like I said, all those should be's, everything we were talking about in this column here in the Pentacles about, these rules, these conditional rules that we've been taught since we're very young on what you're capable of, how you're supposed to do things, and and it has you in this very narrow road, or maybe walking this very narrow rope across a gorge, and you're afraid you're going to fall off because it's a very small tightrope that you have to walk on to meet the expectations of this outside world. All these opinions, all these, like the popular opinions of how you're supposed to do something, how you're supposed to feel about something. It's all these opinions. But this is a beautiful awareness that comes, that you are the one that's able to cut away those expectations that no longer serve you. You surround all these fears that we talked about, with this unconditional love. When you wrap those around, it's like putting a cork on all the swords. They don't become, it's like bunk, bunk. It doesn't slice because the giant cork is on the blade. So all they're doing is hitting you with the cork, and that doesn't hurt. You're just like, okay. So, all right, well, it's just getting my attention. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't pierce me. It doesn't make me bleed. It's just getting my attention. So as those fears come up, you can look at them calmly, because they're not something that will hurt you anymore, and you're not afraid of it. When you bring unconditional love for yourself and for others into these expectations, and when you really are able to be in that calm space, and you look at those expectations, you can see, is that really true? And you're like, no, it's like we have these shadowy voices in our head that will take us to these extreme things. But when we talk about them out loud or even write them so we could see it in writing, it's like, well, if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to fail and I'm going to get fired, or I'm not going to have any income, and then I'm going to lose my home and my car, and everyone's going to hate me, and they're going to ostracize me outside of town, and I'm going to die alone in the woods. You're just like, what? It's like, how likely is that to happen, right? You're just like, no, that's not true. I've got loved ones. We'll band together. Even if we're all in the same situation, we'll bind together and find ways to eat and be sheltered and have, water and our necessities to live. So at the very least, we're going to live, and we might even be less stressed when we're not, in this place of having a high house payment and a high car payment and insurance and upkeep and cable, and you have all this stuff that sometimes when you do lose stuff, you're relieved once you face the fear of what will people think about you, and then you realize you don't care, because those who love you won't care. They will just want to help you and support you, just like they know you would do them. But it's the invisible and shadowy they. What will they think of me? Well, if someone doesn't know me and they're going to judge me, then they don't have all the facts, and they're judging me without all the facts. So their opinion is based on very little information and not on all the information. So why would I care about their opinion anyway? Because it's faulty. Boom. I love that thinking, right? That's how the mind works. All right, we'll see what else the creator wants you to know about your mental adventure during the month of November. And we're going to pull from this numerology deck and see what other message we have. The creator for our Leos, what else do you want them to know about their mental adventure? Okay, that one right there. Yep, got teaching and learning. So definitely when we talked about learning here, there is some learning that you can be doing about new skills, new ways of doing things. And I love as you get rid of the stubbornness around that this is the way it has to be done, that your mind is open to receiving more ideas and more possibilities, and you see answers where you didn't see an answer before because your mind is now open. And so I really feel that's a big part of this message for you from here. There are other messages, and this is a general reading, so I'll read from here and see what else comes here for you. So this card indicates a time of significant learning and growth, and when the wisdom you will gain will be of great benefit to others too. There is much potential for you to teach what you've experienced. In fact, your life lessons are just as valuable as your academic knowledge. Therefore, every trial and tribulation can help you be of service to the world. This card encourages you to have faith in your ability to teach, because teaching is simply passing on to others information they didn't already know. You probably already do this by sharing the lessons you've learned and the discoveries you've made with your colleagues, your family members, children, or friends. So please don't underestimate the importance of what you have to say. In order to improve your current situation, you're being asked to adjust to and harmonize with balance the natural rhythm and cycles of your life. Cycles that are encouraging you to teach what you've learned. This is a time to investigate new opportunities or areas of study to expand your existing wisdom. The more you learn, the more you have to teach, which serves your greater good and the greater good of all. If there is something you would like to teach, then set the intention and do it. Focus that fire hose on your head, into it, and just know that you can do it. So affirmation for this card is everything I learn and teach serves the greater good. So definitely, when you focus in on balancing life, you're like, oh, this is what I'm out of balance in, and you judge yourself and you beat yourself up for it. But that's all part of the beautiful, the yin yang or yin yang, depending on how you say it, of life, is that there's this beautiful ebb and flow of things. In experiencing the dark, we understand more of the light. And under, experiencing sadness, we understand more fully what happiness is and appreciation for it. Experiencing anger, we understand more fully what peace is. It's this beautiful contrasting life experience that we have, and you learn from that, and you can share from that. So instead of judging yourself over it, you can see it as a beautiful school that you've attended, beautiful experiences that you have that have expanded your wisdom, expanded your understanding. And of course, judging yourself is one of those experiences. So, if you feel like you want to judge yourself, then definitely do it. Flow through that judgment, taste it. Don't just stick your, little pinky in there. Go full into it and experience judgment, right? Why mess around? Feel really judged. And then you're like, I've had enough of that. It's like wanting a piece of cake and eating a whole cake, and you're like, okay, I've had enough cake for a year. All right. So next we're going to move on to the final suit, which is cups. That is the element of water, which of course represents our emotions. So this will be your emotional journey, emotional adventure during the month of November. All right, Creator, for our Leos, what do you want them to know about their emotional adventure in November? Okay, that's the one. Yep, and you got the King of Cups, so the master of the emotions. And what's beautiful about this is, he brings you this chalice, this holy grail full of the living waters that quench your thirst, that make you feel whole and complete, because those living waters are the unconditional love of the Creator of all things. So it's a beautiful message. It's like, you can even think of it as like Christ's love, is how some refer to it as well, because it's that feeling of just being unconditionally loved no matter what. There's no condition that you can have to lose it, and there's no condition there for you to gain more of it, because you have all of it already. So definitely this is about, feeling this beautiful flood of amazing love from above. Along with the balancing theme, though, because the king is at the end of the cups, he's also learned so much. And the king doesn't, that's just an energy, the masculine energy. So, this applies to males, females, or however you identify. It's just an energy, right? But the balance is that the king, once he reaches the end of the suit, he's experienced all of the cups all along, and he understands the essence of emotion, and that making decisions and living life by just emotions isn't going to be healthy. It's like we're talking about when you're out of balance, where it's just emotions and you're not bringing mind into it, then you're out of balance, and that doesn't tend to end well. So it's this beautiful balance between heart and mind, physical world and spiritual world. The King of Cups definitely has that message of beautiful floods of unconditional love energy, but also not going out into outer space with it and not coming back. Enjoy those explosive moments of amazing emotion, but then come back into balance, and have this beautiful balance, because then you're able to share that experience with the world. When you have this taste of this bliss from this beautiful cup, it is amazing, because it's a lot like the Aquarius water bearers. The gift that this energy brings too is it shows you what you're truly thirsty for. All these expectations that we look at in the outside world, we're told that these are going to fulfill us and make us feel whole and complete. But when you go there, it just makes you thirstier, right? And so with this beautiful, just one drop of this water, you're like, oh my gosh, you suddenly have this clarity on what you really are wanting in life, and that you find it within you. And that transforms your whole outer world, because when you find that what you've been looking for all along is this, holy grail full of this unconditional love from the Creator that you find through your connection to the higher world, then that becomes the source of your worth. That becomes the source of your abundance. Then everything on the outside world just becomes extra. You're not as desperate to obtain those things and go after those things. You don't go out of balance because you're in no rush. I already have everything I need. So everything else is just extra. I can just enjoy it for what it is and live the dream, right? All right. And then we'll move on to this last card here, and this is going to be from the Angel Guide Oracle. And this can be more clarification on what the Creator wants you to know about your emotional adventure. But I'm also going to call it a wild card, since it's the last card for this reading. It can be whatever the Creator wants you to know about anything for November. So there you go. Creator, what's your final message for our Leos for this reading for November, please? Okay, there we go. I was about to say make it really obvious for us, because there's a lot of cards we're wanting to come out, but this is the one. Yep, joy and contentment. So definitely talked about this energy feeling very joyful. And then I just talked about this beautiful, unconditional love that you feel brings this amazing contented feeling, because you're no longer trying to, like that desperate feeling of trying to obtain. You're like, I'm content and I don't have to rush and I don't have to get more. I'm just going to enjoy the moment and enjoy life and, this beautiful doing the thing that you love to do and sharing it with the world, right? So it says, be here now. Enjoy the present moment and all of the positive experiences that have unfolded and are continuing to unfold. A wave of contentment is washing over your life. Contentment is about taking time to reflect on your situation, enjoy the moment, and trust that you're always being guided, right? Your angel team is encouraging you to follow your heart now. Do what makes your heart and soul sing. Do what makes you smile, dance, and rejoice in the glory of life. Your angel guide is encouraging you to live your joy fully. Know that your ultimate purpose is to live joyfully, and through the expression of your joy, you will reach a state of bliss and contentment. Happiness is the key to inner peace, and you're being given an opportunity to experience it now. If you find yourself feeling sad, drained, or overwhelmed, like this Nine of Swords, know that this is all about to change. In order to usher positive energy into your life, your angels are encouraging you to do what makes you feel alive. Whether you're drawn to pursuing a hobby, spending time in nature or with loved ones, or even having a digital detox, you're being guided to make those moves now. Anything that makes you feel positive, blessed, and joyful will support you in magnetizing more of these feelings and experiences into your life. Your angels are waiting to shine their light and love on your world. So call on them to bring that love in now. So definitely, they're like, your book ended here with them saying, yes, we're here, we support you, we love you. You just need to ask us for that support, because we're not going to mess with your free will. I usually use an example because it's a visual in my head of, we're like these little children that have a big glass. It's our first time we're going to drink out of a glass instead of a sippy cup. And there's this pitcher of milk, and, we're grabbing the pitcher and we're going to pour the milk into the cup. And, the adult human side would be like, oh, no, let me do that for you. You're going to make a mess. But we have a much more compassionate and understanding and patient support team that are like, you know what? If he wants help, they're going to ask for it. So because the little kid's going, let me do it. And they're like, okay. And so while we're grabbing the pitcher and they're going and getting the paper towels and the, washcloths and the mop, because they know there's going to be spilt milk, and they're not judging us for it. They're just like, you know what? This is all about learning, balance, right? We learn to balance and pour it. And the first time, more milk ends up outside of the cup than it does in the cup. But we learn eventually, obviously, to be able to pour with trial and error as we go through it. But that's that beautiful, patience and that beautiful honoring of our free will, that they don't mess with us. And when we want to do something ourselves and learn, but when we're ready, you can you know what, can I have your help? And they're like, sure, well, let's do this together. And then we learn, with their assistance too. So it's a beautiful, beautiful message. I love this balance. I love this beautiful energy coming in, this contentment coming in, this nightmare, insomnia, thoughts are moving away in November as you become more solidly connected to your higher self and just all this beautiful support energy you have on the other side. So just know as you're going through this month that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, your whole support group here, and I love you too. Did want to let you know that in addition to these monthlies, I do put out weekly element readings by each of the 4 element zodiac signs. I also have new moon and full moon readings by zodiac sign that I put out. They usually come out every couple weeks because of the phases of the moon, and some other timeless and different types of readings. So if you haven't done that yet, you can hit subscribe, and you get notified of when those come out, and just make sure to hit the little bell as well. And that way you'll get notified when those come out. I have all these playlists on my YouTube channel, so if you want to check those out, you can check it that way too. So that is it. I'm going to leave the reading at that. Until next time, I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. You take care.